All right. Hello, everybody. Good evening. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good day. Good morning. Good evening. All right. So I'm a little bit late, and you might notice that I did I did a video that was just silly. That was supposed to be a pre-stream. Now we have another pre-stream video, but I'm going to do the stream with it because, unfortunately, uh, there's people protesting already. No, we're still gonna stream. We're still streaming. I just figured, because I didn't do anything for another day or something. I don't even know what that. I don't even know what that is. No camera tonight because that would require me to stop sweating. And in case you don't know, it was about 40 degrees today. And the air conditioning was working until the power went off. So, but anyway, I thought it'd be really funny to watch some stupid videos that people have been sending me. Let's try this one. What? I don't even. What? Hitler! Shrink his love, he say he shrink his life. My dad walks in and calls me a racist. Oh no. Oh god, now I'm sweating again. One more and then Jesus, the ear rape song.
Where'd you find this? My stomach. Oh, Jesus, just launched the game. Oh, oh, right. No, I don't smoke weed. No more. No more of them smoke weed memes. Alright, so, Alekhines Gun. And, we are doing Snakeborn. Which is the third mission, as you can see. And I think last time, it was a pretty good, reasonable difficulty. It seemed like the AI were a bit more alert. Seemed to pay more attention to what we were doing. I don't want to do extreme because, namely that reason there, you cannot change clothes, and I think it's not that it's difficult. It's just I don't want to do that. Maybe at another date after the end of the streaming. I'll go through the full part of the game, and then I might have a look another time.
And you let him go? For that kind of confession, Semyon, one would have gotten 10 years in the camps.
Well, in Austria, in 1944, we used...
That was an exception. We didn't have enough agents at the time. We had to turn to the Americans.
So HQ demanded I find Rambaldi again.
Yes, and judging by the report, you and he worked quite well together.
I almost killed you. Semyon, this is Special Agent Pearson.
Looks like we'll be working together. Semyon Strogov.
Over here. This long building, that's a fire department. And the security's too heavy for such a place. And there's too many trucks in the building yard. Well, that means there's something else inside the building they had to make room for.
I see.
Exactly. We're not sure how many guards are inside. I think there's no less than 3 dozen.
Any escape routes?
No, there's one way in and one way out. And that building was never intended to be a secret military facility. Don't worry. If things go wrong, we'll cover you up from here. You'll probably survive. But we have fake passports and civilian clothes on hand after the operation is over. We'll stay in the city a few days and leave when things quiet down.
I'll see you then.
You know, I sure hope that panty waster of yours knows what he's doing. Well, that's why he's out there and we're in here. I don't know. It'd be easy to confuse him for a German officer, though, don't you think? I mean, if things get crazy out there, who knows? Bang! Watch where you're pointing that thing, Andrew. We're on the same side. We're on the same side. And keep your politics out of this. Hey, relax. It's not even loaded.
Sorry about that, guys. I'm not too sure why that was lagging out. The sound just was bugging on my end as well. I don't think it's the stream. I certainly got it on my end. And look, there's Hitler in disguise. Here are our mission objectives. Eliminate Adolf Gustav Kraus, born November 28, 1903, Munich, Bavaria, Germany. He was born in a suburb of Munich to a single mother. Like many young people at that time, Adolf Kraus came under the influence of Nazi ideologies. Since 1931, he has been a member of the National Socialist German Workers' Party. In 1924, he began university and graduated with honors in 1928. He was recommended by a well-respected professor for participation in the uranium project. Since 1940, has been aided by Berthold Stolz in their research. Of course, that leads to a second target. Berthold Stolz, born 7th of May 1880, on Baden-Württemberg, Germany. For a scientist of his reputation, his upbringing was nothing special. He was born into a small family and his father was a naval engineer. He did have access to an extensive home library and got into science at an early age. Beginning in 1903, he attended a university in central Germany. In 1907, he presented and successfully defended his thesis on the topic Problems of Synthesis of Fluorine. From 1908 to 1909, he served in the German Imperial Army. In 1931, he moved to Western Germany and became a professor of chemistry. Beginning in 1939, he played a significant role in the uranium project and was involved in the development of the first German nuclear reactor. Stoltz later began working on nuclear explosive device in parallel with Dr. Diebner's group. In 1944, when the Allies forces attacked, he was evacuated to Austria to continue his work. And of course, that leads to the third objective. Take a photo of the work. The uranium project started in the fall of 1939. According to confirmed data, more than 20 research institutions in Germany are involved in the project in some way. Project status: open. There are maintenance checks. Current results: the theoretical research in the field of nuclear explosive devices. Existing samples are not functional. There are no reliable data on the effectiveness, cost of production, means of delivery, and other auxiliary facilities. The discovery of an industrial method of uranium enrichment, centrifugation method, the construction of the uranium machine. Despite the rather controversial results of the program, the studies that have been conducted, both practical and theoretical, are of high value. Take a photo of the results of their experiments, because of course all the experiments are going to be in one spot. Almost makes more sense to actually capture said scientists, but I guess eliminating somebody is just as good. As you can see, we're close to the end of the war. Only a good 6 to 8 months left, at least in Europe. And this, of course, is the last mission, if you have played the game, that involves the World War II missions. So this will be the last time we're dealing with that. And of course, after this, it's going to be very interesting. We're going to get into the Cold War, which makes this game actually quite unique. So in terms of loadout, I'm not too sure what we should take. I might take the poison. We've got the high standard HDM. I get the feeling that the tranquilizer gun was only meant to be for the Cold War missions, but we might take it along either way. So we have combat knife. Extra darts. She might take the Walther again. Walther PPK. Alright. Let's start this mission. Life in Austria is orderly. It prides itself on its architecture and culture. Its towns and cities are clean and safe. Austria's crime rate is amongst the lowest in the world. Murder rate is low. Until now. Alright, let's try and be serious. So we've got a fair expanse. We start obviously outside of the facility, and quite cleverly in this mission. I have played this one before and I do remember it. So at least the exterior. It's quite interesting. The Germans hide this facility in plain sight, as we will come to see quite soon. And I'm not too sure, but I think we're entering a mission where we're essentially in a curfew. We're not really supposed to be out on the street. So I think it's probably best that we at least look like we're going home. Of course, the question is which house do we look at? Each house that's closer to the objective, of course. Yeah, we're not going to do that. That looks suspicious. Just okay. There's the thing out. But, obviously it's not a curfew, and
And I'm going to get rid of the music again because I hate to say it, I really feel like the music is probably the one thing that lets this game down the most. So I'm going to turn that off. Of course, there's their first opportunity. Feature that will likely have a couple of goes at taking a leak. But, I'm gonna have to be very careful. I was watching a small video today of this game, and it's quite funny how many bugs supposedly there are, but I've not experienced any at all. That's not going to work. So I'm going to have a bit of a trouble getting past because we've got a fireman who's watching the whole thing. Let's see if we can take a look around. Might be the best way to do this. I'm not too worried about the time. I sort of feel bad that I didn't do the streaming earlier and instead got all silly. But, I'm trying to get a bit more serious. Take a look around, see if we can not cause too much suspicion. Regardless, walking around is too suspicious. Didn't even know there was an area back here. I suppose that's just covered. Yeah, that'll be right. Of course, that looks like it's just that little entry. Of course, if you're just tuning in, we're playing Alekhines Gun. Alekhines Gun. I believe the K is silent. I've got to talk to one of my Russian friends. Slowly starting to try and pick up the language, but yeah. Our objective at the moment is to try and get into this building, where we have a top secret research facility for their attempt at the nuclear bomb. Part of the heavy water project, assuming. Oh, as was read out before. It's more about the enrichment of uranium itself. Of course, the Germans are playing the old hide it in plain sight game. Oh, come on. He's trying to stop us. Oh, that's not good. Oh, we better... Oh, dear. Well, that's given us a bit of a distraction at the very least. We might be able to get in. No, he's not dead. He's tot. Is tot. Nonsense. He's taking a nap. Question is... Oh, that's... Yep, that's not working either. However, no, that's not working either. Oh no, I don't know who was seeing us. Probably that guy over there. And of course I've royally stuffed this one up because now they're all quite aware. Oh dear. Right. Made it quite obvious, haven't we? I probably should have tried to dart one of these fellas on the side. I do remember being able to chloroform or get this guy, garrote him, but I haven't timed that too well. So, note to self, do not play stealth games sillily. Tone down the silly before I play. It's either that or it's the heat. Promised I wouldn't play in excessive fatigue, but can't exactly control the weather. And we did have a rather hot day today. It was about 40 degrees near my town, and in other places actually a little bit warmer as well. Oh boy, that was not good.
Ich hab ihn verloren!
No, son!
Hilfe!
Oh, why am I using the tranquilizer gun? Jesus! No! Walther PPK, Roger Moore! You're not ugly. Alright. This is not how I wanted this to work. Oh, jeez. Of course, how the hell we would ever get through this now? There we go. Civilians with weapons exposed will be shot on sight. How I would... Should I continue, people? Should we try and do this, or shall I restart? I'll leave it up to the comments if we have anyone watching. See what happens. Alright, we'll try that. I'm probably going to be better off using my silenced weapons. Oh boy, I'm out of ammo. Yeah, you know what Spy usually does? A frontal assault. Oh, Jesus. Oh no. This is not working well. 11 bullets.
Ich habe ihn verloren!
I'm stuffed. Yeah, there we go. No restart. I guess that's it. It's game over now. Oh dear. That was shameful. I've learnt my lesson. Bad Dinnerinc. Alright. Oh no. And I'm sure if there's anyone that watches this, maybe later on they'll watch it. Within the stealth community, the stealth game community, that are just gonna plain out laugh. What an idiot. That cackling hyena spent too much time laughing at dank Hitler memes and not enough time paying attention to his surroundings. Tips Fedora, you're absolutely correct. I think that'll be the last time I do that. I think what I'll do is I'll do funnies, but I'll do them a few hours like intended prior to the stream, if we do anything like that at all. And I will just keep these videos separate for those who maybe don't want to watch that sort of ridiculous content. Alright, so I think this time I'm going to try and do the same thing. we're going to sit and watch agonizingly to work out this pattern. I guess what just happened shows that the AI does react. That, you know, there are times where the AI is a little bit stale in this game, but it is still a relatively deep stealth game. I really don't know that it deserves the sort of criticism that it got when it did get released. However, I feel like I've said that 3 times, or at least in each of the separate videos I've done so far, done the streaming in so far. But honestly, it is a decent game for what it is. I think maybe in a few streams from now I will do, might actually apply some of the mods. I spoke to one of the main modders of the community, which is, again, I think, sort of fairly tight-knit, but okay. Here I am having trouble with selecting items again. Let me just relearn divisions. I'm forgetting a key a key function as well. I was going to introduce it a little while back. Whistling. That's so sad. I'm not too sure if it works on every single kind of
Was soll denn das?
soldier or people, or whether it's just ones that are walking around on patrol, ones who are idle. I'm not too sure. Yoo-hoo! Nope, he does not find me physically attractive. I think it doesn't tend to work if they have a rough idea of you being around. If you've just done it, they've seen you, they're not particularly interested, which again makes a fair amount of sense. I think also a lot of people need to also sort of be a little kinder to games. We are kind of privileged to have these games. People do spend a lot of time making the correct animation for people urinating. Oh, you only live once. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh. Quick, quick, quick. Person living in this building. I always felt bad about that. Sure, the SS might be a little bit, the Gestapo might have a bit of a field day. Right, so we've got ourselves a uniform. Ich bin ein Soldaten. We should have a little bit more access getting into the building. Yeah, so the mod I was talking about a few moments ago, it's essentially the same sort of... okay, maybe we're not allowed in here. Better just have a look around. We have to recognize also that we've just replaced somebody who a few moments ago looked a little bit different. So we'll just stand here for a moment. It's essentially the same game. I mean, it is the same game, but this modder has taken a fair effort to improve a lot of the functionality, add new objectives, make the game a lot more enriched, and I'd be interesting to, pardon me, it would be interesting, I think, to take a look and see just how many changes there are and how much further he branches out the game's mechanics. So, I might give this a go. not too sure who doesn't want us going in. Ah, that's the gentleman in question. Doesn't seem to mind at the moment though, which is good. So, we are in, using our spy sense, and of course, just having a look around to see what we can find. I'm not too sure how far we'll get with just our soldier's uniform, but sometimes you will find interesting items that you can use. You know, they could be as simple as a hammer, they could be chloroform. In the last one we saw baking soda, which we could have used to deacidify the wine, but also induce vomiting with our Italian fascist friend. And of course you can see these prologue missions are starting to develop a bit of a story where we're dealing with Rambaldi, who was the man who committed suicide at the very start. And we're also being introduced to another character that's fairly important to the story. Andrew, whatever his name was. See, that's how important it was. I can't even remember the name. Oh dear.
Vielleicht soll irgendwas hergemacht werden. Oder hat irgendwer Schiss sein Leben bekommen?
Of course, here is the room they seem to be getting their calls out from. Just looking around to see what else we can find, if anything at all. I'm getting the feeling the guard downstairs will probably not want us to be going down without the right papers or possibly the right uniforms. I want to try and do that before we make that mistake, particularly as I've already wasted a hell of a lot of time. So yeah, we got a fireman's clothing outfit. Not too sure. Let's have a look. Go downstairs, take a look. See if we're able to get past this guard.
Halt! Hier darf man nicht lang.
Yep, no, that's not going to work. Absolutely not allowed. So, the question is, as I've seen one person put it before, we need to get a slightly more fancy uniform. In other words, we need a armband. Which is a little bit frustrating. I feel like it would have made more sense if there were a requirement on papers, or some sort of identification, or even rank. It only seems like there's a few ranks of any matter or a small hierarchy. So I've got a feeling probably the access of the fireman's outfit or uniform is of importance to get close to this gentleman, who we are now going to probably have to commandeer said uniform of. And of course, naturally, we're going to have to ditch the SDG-44 as well. Because last time I checked, Fireman didn't have weapons. Oh! Phew. I was gonna say, goodness. How did they see? Sometimes you get little glitches like that, but outside of that, as I was mentioning before, and I've gone off track a little bit tonight. Oh, yeah, that's right. Ditch the... Ah! Oh, no! Please. Please, no. Oh. He doesn't... Alright, he doesn't mind. I was gonna say, ditch the gun, damn you. Ditch the gun. There we go. Oh. What's this fella? He's a fireman as well. What is that patch? Same patch I've got. Ah, yes. There we go again, losing my train of thought. Oh dear. Doesn't matter, it'll come back to me. So every single streamer I think goes through this. So much going on. Righto. So now the question is, how do we isolate this fellow? It doesn't seem to matter or make much difference again. It's a bit stupid. But then again, I suppose we can use the rationale he saw us earlier. There we go, just practicing the holstering and de-holstering. Get a good look at that patch. 3 fireware. I don't know. What's that? J? Is that a J? Goldstat, I guess? Not too sure. Quite happy to be corrected by any German speakers as well. Oh boy. Yep, just fixing the tires, Hans. This is looking actually quite fruitful. I'm not doing anything suspicious. Just looking under the car. Come on, don't bug on me now. I used the wrong gun. That was not meant to happen. Oh boy, I'm not having a good night, am I? There's another thing I keep forgetting. You hold down the button to then cycle through the weapons like that, because they fall into the same class. Pistol is the same class regardless of what it is. Oh, I can't use this uniform. Oh dear. What do you reckon, guys? Do I continue? This is becoming mildly embarrassing. Actually, I think for the grace of time, I will reload. And we'll simply do that again. We won't change uniform. We'll just linger around there and... oh, I don't have to. There you go. That is really embarrassing. I'll just make sure I have the right weapon selected this time. I didn't even need to use a weapon, so that's really quite pathetic on my part. Look at that. Just There we go. That would have been a lot more difficult if I hadn't done that. We'll just pretend we left him under the truck. Yeah. That would have been far more difficult. I would have probably had to take this guard out at the front here. And or found somebody else with the correct uniform that we need to use. Although, there's a little thing there. Probably could have done it.
Huh?
Would have been very tricky though. We would have had to watch the alarm. That'll be the last time I do something scumbaggy like that and resave. If we have a problem with it, we're just going to keep going through. I don't want to get into this save scummery. We're just going to keep going. So I'm just going to have a look around. Familiarize myself a little bit. Doesn't seem to be anything of importance in here. So we're going to move on. Ah, it's a fire training area.
Huh?
Get them to jump over walls and climb up ladders. Quite clever. Yeah. We're going to be allowed in. Oh yes, we are. I would like to note, because I'm not too sure if I've explained it or not, but the system here, white is they haven't noticed you yet. Yellow is they notice you, but you know, you're on their radar, but they're not particularly interested. They just know you're there. And red is they're either becoming quite suspicious, or they are in that phase of trying to work out what you're doing. I believe. Or they're just suspicious. Pardon me. Words not even once. Alright, so we have another Snake Plissken that we have to probably get some sort of Papiera from.
Zutritt verboten.
Das ist verboten. Of course, that's going to be the Commandant's office. Excuse me a moment, just going to get a glass of water. Now, the question is, we're going to have to get papers from him, I'm just sure of it. And of course, we won't be allowed through.
Ihre Dokumenten bitte.
Yeah. We don't have the correct access. My goodness, pardon me. So, we're going to time this. And then we're going to replace that guard. Excuse me. Gotta keep them fluids up. Once he's removed himself from the office, we will move the body possibly into that area that we'll lockpick. But I'm thinking the closet will be fine. And then we can dispatch of this officer and deal with him accordingly. Or possibly not. He's getting a little bit suspicious. Oh dear, I've made a terrible mistake, haven't I?
Halt! Hier darf man nicht lang.
Yes, I have. Alright, I'm going. Yes, he's not too sure. It's unusual that he drew his weapon to shoo me away, though. Seems like a bit of a strange thing to do. So what we'll do... Oh, I just forgot my magazine back there. I'd better go and pick it up. Intent. Come on. Got body. Going to save. I'm really hoping we don't get caught with our pants down. Come on, come on, come on. You gotta put him in that. You gotta put him in there. You gotta put him in there. Come on. Ooh, I can feel the tension. Ooh, I almost felt like that was the other door. Crikey. Jeez Louise. You know, I'd be terrible with horror games. The tension. Alright, so we're going to linger in here, and then we're going to get ourselves some papier, and we shall exfiltrate through the elevator down to the main facility. Move along. Oh, you've got to be kidding. I'm not too sure why he doesn't like me. It's a little bit strange. I suppose because his personal guard, but it's not an adjutant. It's not like he's, or maybe it is, I don't know. Doesn't matter, we've gotten away with it. I'm not too sure whether we'll have to get the papers or... Ah, there it is. Just look that way. I'm sort of half wondering whether I should try and take his uniform. I think it's kind of obvious because who the hell else is going to have a eye patch? However, giving the guy a tranquilizer dart might be a good way to deal with, you know, the possibility of being alerted to in some other way. Chances are that doesn't happen. Although I think maybe once or twice that's happened to me in this game. I've left somebody somewhere and they've come across a body just by sheer chance. So I don't know. I like to be safe than sorry, even if it isn't coded in. It makes me feel better. So we're now going to get ourselves out of this area.
Huh?
We obviously timed that considerably well. And now, of course, when the gentleman asks us about the elevator, we have the correct paperwork, and we're allowed straight in. Right down to the basement. The question is, how far are we going to go? How far are we going to get? Obviously walking in the right direction. Just going to check our information. Ah, and there you see. We cannot afford the risk of extracting him from Ostra. Ostra. He's got to be eliminated. So that's actually different information to what's provided with the screens. That's a little bit odd. I'm not too sure how we're going to get close to these scientists. Bolt cutters. And a third gun never hurts. Just don't know where I'm going to put it. Alright. That is the gun or the bolt cutters. I'm not too sure where I'd put either of them. Let's take a look. I always feel like this is cheating. But, number 2 is back there. 2 is down the bottom. I see. Of course, we'd never get a well-placed shot. We'd probably have to go down there. And or find a way to get him up here. And then eliminate him accordingly. Officer who is quite animated, but I'm sure if we move into his line of sight we're going to be moderately suspicious. Yeah, there we go. There's that red feature again. I'm not particularly... Yeah, I'm considerably suspicious. He obviously, you know, in a place like this you would expect that chances are most people would know who their lower and higher ups are, who is in charge, who isn't in charge, and quite possibly even the lower sergeants would know each individual sort. I mean, it makes sense, wouldn't it? And of course that is probably a really reasonable way of explaining some of the suspicion that is encountered in this game. In particular, doubly so for a high, you know, top secret facility such as this one. Because it's essentially a large bunker. I'm actually not too sure if the Germans did have such facilities during the war. I might do a little bit of research. I'm suspecting we're probably not going to be allowed in a lot of these places. I'm going to stand here for a moment. Just catch my bearings. Oh, takes a cigarette to go out to have a smoke. Interesting. Sometimes I also get the feelings that there are elements within this game that are missing. Objectives. Again, I think that is the objective. Funnily enough, of that modder that I was talking about earlier. He seems to be focused on attaching as many parts of the games that were left out, as many part of the game, pardon me, as was left out. Similar to the modding of KOTOR, there was a sort of a reconstructive mod for Knights of the Old Republic 2. Many of the assets in that game were lost, or not lost. They were left in, pardon me, in the game files, but were just unused. The game was pushed ahead too quickly, and in the case of this, I think many things had to be cut or left on the cutting room floor because of the length of time they wanted to get the game out. I mean, again, I'm assuming, I don't really know, but it just sort of has that feeling occasionally. Oftentimes you'll see something that's really quite cool and you think, oh yes, I'd like to go and do that, or that seems like an objective, and it's not. That said, still a very fun game. As I stare at a toilet waiting for a card. Again, during one of those slow processes, waiting for the bad guys, or the person you need to eliminate. I suppose when you're a spy, everyone can be a bad guy. is one loud toilet. Someone needs to fix the plumbing. I'm a little bit concerned that the floor is as shiny as it is. I'm hoping that's just the light and nobody's had an accident or anything. Also a little bit concerned. I can hear a fly flying around the toilet base. I'm sure that guy's going to have another cigarette break and a toilet break soon, but while he does, I'm just going to flick through my items. And there he is. There it is. It's not particularly nice, but I guess if he's working on the project, and we have to eliminate other scientists anyway, and I'm also out of chloroform. How am I out of chloroform? I haven't used it twice, have I? Oh yes, I did. Never mind. And of course, scientists generally don't carry around assault weapons. better just leave that there. However, we will pick up his high-level access card and a little bit more ammunition for the pistol. And before we go any further, it's really quite stupid to do that. Open the door and then search through his items. Just check that the guns that we have are all loaded. Just want to check, just seeing if there is a way to look over both shoulders. Sometimes these games have that. 'Cause it seemed like I'd changed shoulders at that point. I don't know how to do that, which is very sad. It's the sort of thing you'd expect to know. Ah, using the rolling mouse button you can do that. Wow. See, we're learning together. Okay, just checking. Yeah, that mildly bothers me. If you press the button again, it cycles through. So if you're pressing 4 to cycle, or pressing 4 to activate, or equipped rather your pistol, if you press it again and you haven't specifically holstered it, it actually cycles through. I guess it kind of makes sense, but it is a little bit off-putting as a control feature. So we are now Hans von Scientist Schrick, and we're going to find our way in to see the scientist. He's allowed us through. This is not going to work too well. I didn't think this through. Of course he's not going to recognize us. There I was blabbing about how scientists would... officers and soldiers would know each other. And of course there I am, waltzing in what would probably be a very small scientific team. Only to nearly get shot yet again. Oh boy. Okay.
Huh?
Interesting. So, oddly surprising the Germans have that in English. Of course, it's me just being silly. Look at that. It's even got Fat Man Core. Oh geez, we'd better hurry up. The Germans already know about the American program. Oh dear.
Huh?
activatable switch. Some showers. I recall taking out the scientist by cutting some wires going through a small area underneath and popping up and strangling him that way. I believe there is a way. I think it's going to look a little bit suspicious if we try to use the ladder. Oftentimes, for whatever reason, the ladder usage is deemed well, got away with it. I'm not too sure. In previous games, it certainly was a suspicious action, but I suppose it really depends on the context. And maybe we're just going down here for, I don't know, evening stroll or something. I think I've found the correct spot. It's either going to be the scientist or a bunch of guards. Let's find out. Oh, we've gone the wrong side. Nice shot, Strogov. Actually not bad for such a distance. But I suppose, given how close his head was to the border, wouldn't have been surprised if there was an awful lot of blood. Oh boy. I'm not a good spy at all. Oh no. Oh dear. Here we've got a little focusing minigame. There we go. Just rolling my mouse back and forth to get it correct. There we go. Alright. Next thing we might want to do is try to cover up the tracks. Open door. Open door. There we go. I won't take the remaining Walther P38 ammunition. It's no point if I get to the point where I'm stuffed, I'm going to be in trouble anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, we've got a note. What about here? Inventory. Note. At T, Kraus mentioned heavy water factory and that Norwegian word, I think. The conversation turned to a dispute. Kraus convinced me that the technology is already familiar and developed, and the disclosure of its potential for our business is is not far off. I had to finish the conversation not to explicitly show my irration from such amateurish way of thinking. I feel like Kraus does not work and has never worked on our project, otherwise the advantage of the graphite method would be obvious for him. Oh, Jesus, Fusion. It's either that or he looked at the wall and saw that the Americans had developed Fat Man already. Somehow the Germans came up with the poster. Does not matter. Interesting little tidbits to move the story along. I'm going to see if there's anything in the safe, but I somewhat doubt it. No. I think what we'll do is we'll have a look. I'm sure there was a hole there. At least that's how I remember it anyway. Alright, well, to not arouse suspicion, we will go out the same way we came in. Yeah, Stoltz is all like to Kraus, "What are you doing in my swamp?" I found Hitler. So, hoping we get out carefully. I sort of feel like I wish he would replace the wiring afterwards as well, not to leave such a gaping hole so obvious for everyone to see. Might also take a look down here. Yeah, so there was. Don't think there's anything down here of any... Oh, let's use cutter. Oh, use cover. Pardon me. Ugh. Oh, there's something wrong with me. I really hope to improve this in the coming streams. Alright. Well, there's nothing else of interest. We're going to go back up this ladder. I'm going to try and find a way to get that guy up, or find a way down. I think we're going to have much the same issue as with the other scientist. If we get down there, we'd best be a scientist, and we're not going to be a scientist that's recognizable, so we're going to be in a lot of trouble very quickly. Henceforth, we're going to have to find a way to either bring him up or go down there without being in trouble, and I suspect that probably that officer is going to be a part of that. It's also to note that a lot of the earlier missions I think are quite designed around getting the player familiar with the game. I found when I played this the first time, and seemingly this time as well, that I was actually quite a while before rather, it was quite a while before I got all the techniques right down pat. I think actually it was one of these games that I got to the very end and I felt like I still didn't know totally. So in a sense that is kind of good. There is that replayability. And of course that's one of the reasons why I chose it as a game to stream. So, just looking around. I don't think there is a way that we could do this without being obvious, although, to be quite honest, I was going to say, if it wasn't for that gentleman behind us, we would have a very clear shot. That gentleman doesn't seem to be...
Ich hoffe mal,
They
das
don't
kommt
seem to
heute
be as
nicht.
suspicious to the average scientists, but the higher up scientists, I suppose the project leads, seem to be a little bit more suspicious of us. That and this gentleman here as well. I'm sort of half wondering if there's something in there for us. I'm actually, I don't remember whether this game had bonus objectives either. I remember in Moment of Truth, and possibly in the original Death to Spies, there was a few extra objectives that would present themselves, but you would have to sort of unlock something prior to that happening, do something prior, or unlock an area, or go to a certain area rather. I mean, they're all free roam, much in the way this is, essentially. Although certain missions had areas locked until you'd done, I think, certain objectives. I think. I'm not too sure. I could be wrong about that. So, let's see if there's anything we can tamper with up here. And tamper with in a non-obvious way as well. Tamper and get shot. I I feel like if we were cunning enough, there would be a way to do something in here. But we're not getting anywhere with that guy. And I don't think we are going to. What else have we got? I think this might also be the last mission that I use the map function. I think from now on I'm going to go predominantly solo. I want to sort of add the difficulty as we go along. It's also possible that there is a ladder entrance down here, so I'm going to have a look. I feel sorry for his hands. Oh, interesting. And we make sure that the coast is clear. It is. Over there is walking in the opposite direction. Let's see where this leads to. Oh, hatch is closed from the other side. Oh, interesting. Okay. But it might be of importance to us later. So, up here. So, doesn't seem to be any machinery we can tell with over here. Just check on the side. Just trying to test it. Upstairs. Wonder what the hatch is about. Maybe it's a way to get out or something. Though I think this is the only way in and out of the facility, as far as I can tell. Was the way that we originally came through, so... Where does this lead to? I think the same area we were at before.
Oh,
Start. Yeah. Okay. Fairly certain we will have a difficulty in trying to escape the area with part of me a scientist uniform. First question probably going through their mind is, well, why are you clocking off? Again, I think it helps, as ironic as this for me to say as I walk through this and fumble through it excessively, but I think it helps to understand a little bit of the facilities that you're trying to break into, or the mindset of the place, or the people that you're trying to infiltrate or disguise as, or swindle, whether it's through documents or through obtaining access into a building. Alright, so we're not having a lot of success at this point, and I'm thinking probably the only way we're going to get around this is by finding a way to sort of walk around and not be seen once we get down there. Not just by anyone up the top, but also anyone walking around. I think the biggest issue we're going to have is this gentleman walking across. And of course, the scientist, Kraus, down the bottom. I think it's Kraus. Yeah. So, Adolf, I'm not Hitler, Kraus. do this very, very, very carefully, we might actually get away with this. So we can jump over. I'm just trying to think very quickly. Is it worth just firing the pistol?
Alarm!
No, it's not. It's a really bad idea. Why did I do that?
Ich
Oh,
hab ihn
Jesus.
verloren! Ein Fremder! Hilfe! Ich hab ihn verloren!
Oh, I'm being shot at from every direction. Stop making me look like I'm bad at video games, game. Oh, no! Oh, damn it. I pressed the wrong button for pistol. It's kind of a good thing because I think this is the kind of game that needs to be played with stealth in mind, but when you do want to run around and shoot things, it is really tricky at times. It's either that or I just suck at the game. I don't know. Oh, and we've got a crash. So it'll be the first crash we've had. Let's quick load it up again. We'll try to finish off this mission before 12 o'clock. Oh dear. Okay, load game. Snakeborn. Please work, please work, please work. Nope. Okay, I'm hoping we don't have a bug with the checkpoint, because that would be a little bit frustrating. Come on, please, please work. Oh no, I think the save file might be corrupt. Oh boy, and I haven't saved in a while either. Oh dear, this is this is not good. See, I am so preachy. Save the game, do this, do that, and then I promptly don't, and oh, thank goodness. All right, so let's try not to muck this up again. All right, so. Yeah. Okay. It was incredibly obvious what I did was wrong. It seems like the only way I'm going to get around this is getting him to one side, and of course promptly doing the deed. Look at that. Strogov is pondering as much as we are as how the hell we're going to get away with this. I can't do it in the middle because everyone will see. And outside of trying to maybe fiddle with that control unit, and I mean I can't see a situation where he's going to get up, walk around and have a look at it. Outside of being in this particular area, so I think that's not going to work. The other problem is, how do I do this without being incredibly obvious?
Och nee.
Yeah, see, someone up there is already taking a look. And again, outside of calling people away, I'm just not too sure how we're going to do this. Essentially making the same face at this point too. Well, gesture at least. I'll wait for him to walk around, and then we're going to have a look and see if we can fiddle with that control unit, and maybe Maybe we can distract him in some way. Maybe he'll leave. Maybe he'll wander over to this darker corner, and we can dispatch him then. Try this. Try to make this as limitedly as embarrassing as it. Oh, hello. We've got control panels. 1, 2, 3, 4. Possibly where I will get him to walk to. It's just a case of which one is which. And they're not numbered. Well, that's number 2. It's going to be a case of if we can turn off all the lights, maybe we'll make it dim enough that no one will see. But even then, there's that light up there, and I don't want to risk using a bullet to knock it out. Just wait here again. I was just fiddling with the controller. Wait a minute. Oh dear, I feel like an idiot. No more sillies! I've just realized, of course. Accidents. You know, why do people keep saying, oh, budget hitman, budget hitman? Well, yes, budget hitman to a point, but same kind of gameplay. We're trying to do this also without leaving bullets and traces behind. And the more accidents we can cause, the more ingenious ways we can murder people, the more likely we are to get away with it, even though the risk is high. So, question is, I don't know which one he touched.
Oh, zum Glück ist nichts passiert.
And, or which one he touches. We know the one forward in front of us is sorry, about from us is number 2. The one he doesn't touch very much.
Huh?
So I can only guess that one of these is probably... Oh no, that's 3, pardon me. It's strange, I thought that was 2. So I've got a rough idea based on the numbers. Ah.
Oh, weh.
No, I think I understand what I've got to do. No, please don't look at me. I'm just doing science things off in this dark corner over here. I'm scribbling my calculus on the wall. It's probably not very funny. Doesn't seem to mind us playing with this either, which is kind of good. So that's number 2. And that one's number 3. And that one is number 4. I think I know what to do. So we have one of these mini games where we have to try and do this without being spotted. And all we're doing is matching up. Ah! You fool. All we're doing is matching up these things, and we're doing it within the amount of time as well. And it's a complete accident. no one is going to suspect us, because that's what happens. The logical thing would be to run away as quickly as possible. Kraus has hurt himself. Kraus! I wanted to have a quick look in here and see if there was any documents or anything. Just for more data and more stuff on the story itself. Going to run through here, not suspicious at all. Start to walk. I think, yeah, all we've got to do is leave the place. It's very self-explanatory. Well, that was embarrassing, but much less embarrassing than I thought it would be, because we got to it in the end. Change clothing. Take a look at the note. Hello, Mother. Last Sunday I received your letter with the previous delayed. As you know, that's why I did not answer it. Oh no. In order to not disturb the chronology, I will write 2 letters to you, but I will put them in one envelope. Everything is okay. I am delighted with the project and the potential of brilliant prospects. At the same time, relations with Stoltz are complicated. I think his enthusiasm faded about me. He seems to think that von Braun overpraised me. He waited that if I would justify some of his hopes, but there is hardly my fault. The bias of my senior colleague, unfinished. Yeah, well. Again, not going to chew it up too much. I think these translating from one language to another can be very difficult. I've had a little bit of experience with Mandarin, Swedish. It's not easy, although Swedish is far more so because of the closeness to English.
Huh?
Now, all we need to do is exfiltrate the building.
Huh?
And I'm really looking forward to the next mission as well. The next mission is one of my favorites. It's one I've played with a couple times. I think it's very rich, very nice as a mission. I do believe it might have also been one of the ones that was worked on for a fair amount of time. It's the first one set in the 60s, and it's in a Chinese bathhouse club thingy-mabob. I'm not too sure how to describe it. It's like a little gangster getaway, and I won't give too many details up, but it's a really lovely mission to look at. It's visually quite
Huh?
I don't know, much like most of this game. It's got a sort of weird you know, it draws attention to certain parts, draws attention away from other areas. It's not as dull as the levels we've had so far. It's a lot more vivid, but it's also kind of flat in its own way, and it's I would almost use the word nostalgic. It's got a sort of nostalgia to it. I'm not too sure if that's the post-processing or what, but I quite like it. It's quite a nice mission. I think you guys will enjoy it. Guys and girls enjoy it, I think. It's,
Huh?
righto. So, we don't really need to change uniform. The game is scripted, I think, as such that most times you're allowed to go wherever you like. if you've got the right uniform. I say that and immediately have to eat my words yet again. Although in this case I think the sentry is just designed to tell you off regardless of who you are. Except maybe the higher ranks. And there we go. Mission accomplished. Rating Wolfhound. Wow, I'm not too sure if that's better or worse. Can't imagine it being too bad. But we did that just in time. It's now 1 hour and 1 hour. Oh, I'm tired. It's now 12:01 a.m. So mostly on time. But thank you for joining me. I shall be doing this probably tomorrow, and I may also do something special considering it's now Australia Day. I say tomorrow, it's now Australia Day. I should be doing a special stream for Australia Day. I thought I would take a look around, see if I could find some Australian games to play, or games that have been developed in Australia. And for people who are maybe a little bit more knowledgeable, it should be a really easy pick. There shouldn't be much guessing to work out what I'm going to play, but you're welcome to guess. Also, if you've got any suggestions, as I've said before, just leave them in the comment section. I'll take a look at them. And you know, at this point, I don't have a long list of games that I want to play. I'm still starting out, but if you send me through something you'd like me to have a go at, I'll certainly consider it. And otherwise, cheers for watching, and until next time, bye for now.